Thank you again, Mr. Gatto. Just this year, a California telecommunications company was the target of thousands of cyber attacks. But it was defended by a rapidly evolving security system. With each attack, valuable information was generated about internal vulnerabilities as well as the source, methods, and nature of this particular attack. This information was then rapidly transmitted to industry partners who patched up their similar vulnerabilities or flagged that particular threat, preventing another disastrous breach of data impacting millions of Californians. We didn't hear about this story because, like the neighborhood watch activity in the real world, we do not hear about the home burglaries that do not happen. In the same way, we cannot assume there to be a liability when security camera footage is shared with a neighbor or law enforcement to provide evidence of suspicious activity or an attempted break-in. That's what this bill is all about. AB 739 would create an exemption from liability for private entities who are actively sharing cybersecurity threat information with their industry peers for the purpose of reducing vulnerabilities and improving preparedness. This exemption is needed because currently the risk of legal action associated with this transfer of information has discouraged the private sector, particularly small businesses with smaller security budgets, from engaging or investing in these security practices. Simply put, this bill incentivizes the use of the best tool companies have to defend themselves, sharing threat information with industry partners, which enables corrective or defensive actions before a vulnerability is exploited. This practice of information sharing is widely recognized as a best practice for combating cybersecurity threats. The National Governors Association, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, and our state cybersecurity task force are amongst the many groups that promote this practice. AB 739 will empower California businesses to defend themselves from modern-day threats and protect the personal information and economic well-being of all individuals in the state. This bill will allow California to lead on the issue by allowing our business community to work toward their own solutions.
Move the bill.
Terrific. Let's go to your witnesses in support.
Catherine Pettibone, Civil Justice Association of California. We are not reflected in the analysis. I was just given the authorization to have an approved support. We appreciate the author's work on this issue. As she accurately stated, a lot of members are very much worried about the liability they face. Our privacy laws are very strict. They want to be proactive about doing the best things they can to protect against cyber attacks. This bill gives them some relief from threat of lawsuits, and so for these reasons we support.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair, members. Alex Alanis with the California Bankers Association in support of the bill. Banks have been sharing information amongst each other to prevent cybersecurity threats and trying to reduce incidences of fraud. We've been doing this at the federal level. So we welcome a state component for a public-private partnership.
Mr. Chairman and members, Steve Carlson for CTIA, the Wireless Association, Trade Association for Wireless Carriers, Operating Systems, handset providers. You can imagine, as the wireless industry has amazing access and what they do in terms of finding out and identifying threats early, and this kind of immunity enables us to be able to help our allies and other industry groups in making sure that we get those fixed as soon as possible. Support the bill.
Great. Thank you. Let's go to public comment and support.
Margaret Gladstein on behalf of the California Retailers Association, also in support for the reasons previously stated.
Thank you.
Hi, Kelly Hitt on behalf of Tech America. We don't have an official position on this bill, but we are working with the author's office, and as the bill moves forward, while we do support sharing information in a safe space, we just want to make sure that there's not any inadvertent loopholes to sharing this information with law enforcement. So we will continue to work with the author's office and to move this bill along. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, John Doherty on behalf of TechNet. We want to thank the author for the bill. We are working through a couple of details, but really appreciate the approach that focuses on how to stop and help prevent data breaches rather than focus on the aftermath once they occur. So thank you, and encourage the bill to move forward.
Terrific. Any other public comment in support? Other witnesses in opposition? Seeing none. Questions or comments? Well, the bill's been properly moved and seconded. You may close if you wish.
I just want to say this has become a huge issue, and we are talking, and I mentioned businesses, but this is an issue also for our critical utilities. So if you have the electric system, the electric grid being attacked, and they're able to share that information, and again, this is completely voluntary. If they're able to share that information with other players in the utility grid so that they can protect themselves, it really helps all Californians. And I think it is crucially important that we move forward with this as soon as possible. Californians cannot afford to wait another year. Thank you.
Wonderful. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
The motion is due pass to judiciary. Gatto?
Aye.
Gatto, aye. Wilk?
Aye.
Wilk, aye. Baker? Aye. Baker, aye. Calderon? Calderon, aye. Chang? Aye. Chang, aye. Chow? Aye. Chow, aye. Cooper? DeBobne? Aye. DeBobne, aye. Dolly? Aye. Dolly, aye. Gordon? Aye. Gordon, aye. Lowe.
Terrific. That bill's passed. We'll hold the roll
So
open.
much. I appreciate your support.
Thank you. Next, we have Mr. Chow, and I see in the audience some very patient sheriffs. Welcome. Mr. Chow, you have Assembly Bill 929, which enjoys a due-pass recommendation.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman and members. AB 929 would authorize state and local law enforcement officers to use pen register and trap and trace devices, including during emergency situations. The bill would authorize a judge to issue a court order to install a pen register or what we call a trap and trace device if it's relevant to an ongoing criminal investigation and that there is a probable cause to believe that the device will lead to obtaining evidence of a crime. A pen register allows law enforcement officers to record all outgoing numbers from a particular number, and a trap and trace device, on the other hand, allows them to record what is incoming to a particular telephone line. These tools are extremely useful for law enforcement folks in situations such as gang and narcotic investigations. Federal law currently allows law enforcement agencies to use these devices, although they must obtain a court order from a judge prior to installing these devices. During an emergency situation, they may use these devices without a court order if they obtain the court order within 48 hours of the use of the device. Law enforcement agencies must demonstrate that there is reasonable suspicion and that the use of the device is relevant to an ongoing criminal investigation and will lead to obtaining evidence of a crime for a judge to authorize the use. The issue is federal law only authorizes the use of pen register or trap and trace devices by state and local law enforcement officers in an emergency situation if there is a state enabling statute authorizing them and creating a process for law enforcement agencies to do so. This bill will create that enabling state statute. AB 929 would also require a higher standard of proof, namely probable cause, which is more restrictive than under federal law, and it is consistent with California law governing search warrants. I have a couple of witnesses here today. I'd like to turn it over to them.
Let's go to your first witness.
Mr. Chairman, members, Dan Filizzato on behalf of the Los Angeles District Attorney's Office. We're co-sponsor of AB 929. As the Assembly member stated, pen registers, trap traces devices are authorized under federal law. However, we've discovered that for the emergency orders, a state has to have an enabling statute. It turns out that only 6 of the 50 states have enacted these statutes. California would be the 7th. When we were reviewing creating a state statute, we realized that because of the California Constitution, we do need to have a probable cause standard, which is higher than the reasonable suspicion standard that is in federal law. So we believe this bill not only preserves a very important law enforcement tool, but also adds enhanced privacy protections for Californians. So we ask for your support.
Terrific. Next
Good
one.
afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members. Lieutenant Wayne Billowit on behalf of Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. As so well put earlier by my colleague and by the Assembly member, we strongly urge your support for the bill. Thank you.
Terrific. Next witness? No? All right, any other or any public comment in support? Witnesses in opposition? Questions or comments? Would you like to close?
I respectfully ask for your aye vote. Thank you.
Right. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
The motion is due pass to appropriations. Gatto?
Aye.
Gatto, aye. Wilk?
Aye.
Wilk, aye. Baker? Aye. Baker, aye. Calderon? Aye. Calderon, aye. Chang? Aye. Chang, aye. Chow?
Aye.
Chow, aye. Cooper? DeBobne? Aye. DeBobne, aye. Dolly? Aye. Dolly, aye. Gordon? Aye. Gordon, aye. Lowe? Aye. Lowe, aye.
Your bill is passed. We'll hold the roll open for a couple more minutes for people to add on.
Thank you very much.
Okay, I'm going to turn the gavel to our illustrious vice chair, presuming he behaves, and present a, yeah, I know, to present a committee bill. Good afternoon, members of my most favorite committee. This is Assembly Bill 1116, which is a committee bill. And at the beginning of this year, when this new committee formed, we, of course, were looking for issues that were rather clear for this committee to focus on, issues that really adhered to our mandate of protecting the privacy of Californians. And this is the first bill, and I thank all of my colleagues for signing on to it. This is a bill that has to deal with the narrow issue of whether televisions can record the conversations that occur in private houses. Now, of course, we didn't want to stymie innovation or affect the voice recognition piece of televisions. We want people to still be able to control their television with their voice. We want people to still be able to do Skype calls with their televisions. All this does is it limits those televisions from recording those private conversations and sending them to a third party for a use that is not intended by the user. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Any other people wishing to speak in support?
Yes, I am Danielle Kando-Kaiser on behalf of Privacy Rights Coalition in support of this bill. If I may read a brief statement.
Absolutely.
Recent news reports have exposed that smart TVs with voice recognition can record and transmit sounds and private conversations inside the room where the TV is located. While manufacturers have warnings tucked away in their privacy policies and service agreements, consumers have been largely unaware that whatever they say can be captured, recorded, and transmitted to the manufacturer or a third-party service provider. This bill protects California consumers by effectively requiring manufacturers to ensure that a TV's voice recognition feature cannot be remotely enabled by either the manufacturer or the manufacturer's third-party service provider without a consumer's knowledge and without any action by the consumer to enable the voice recognition feature. Thank you. We support this bill.
Any other in support? Anybody here in opposition? Please come forward. You want to sit down? Sure.
And we are a tweener. Kelly Jensen representing the Consumer Electronics Association. We very much thank the author and staff for their time. We are working through issues related to the bill and its provisions. Believe we can get there. Obviously, this is a very exciting product and one that manufacturers in the TV space are quickly putting in more and more models that consumers are asking for. So we want to make sure that they are protected and that innovation is not stifled in this area. But we have the utmost confidence that we can help the committee and the chair with a work product that meets everyone's goals. Thank you.
Mr. Vice Chair, members, Jeremy Mers on behalf of the California Chamber of Commerce. We're in the same posture. We are have no position on the bill right now. We thank the author and the author's staff and the committee staff and all the co-authors on the bill for the process so far. I would echo the comments that we think we can get there. The amendments so far have seemingly alleviated some of the concerns. We certainly are kind of looking at two aspects, which are both the manufacture of the TV and not inhibiting that, and then also the technology, the voice recognition technology, as it would apply to the TV, and that it's not captured in any other device, that we're really focused on making sure that it's just focused on these TVs. So again, we look forward to working with the staff, and thank you.
Mr. Chair. Chair. Any questions or comments from the committee members? Mr. Gordon.
Just a quick comment. My husband loves to yell at the television, particularly news shows, and I would not want any of that ever recorded, so I'm going to be pleased to support this bill.
Mr. Gordon, did you say news shows? Yes. So he watches MSNBC then? So it infuriates him? Go ahead.
I just wanted to comment and say that I really appreciate the author for the bill and appreciate the consideration for all the stakeholders and the industry, and hope that he continues on working with industry on some cleanup. But thank you again. I will definitely be supporting this bill.
Yeah. Mr. Dababneh?
Yeah, I also, in the beginning, was obviously looking over the bill, and I will tell you the bill has become something I'm very proud to say that I would like to be added as a co-sponsor now. I do appreciate the staff and the author and the supporters narrowing the bill slightly to remove game consoles and to really make the intent of this bill to make sure that people in the comfort of their own home have privacy, that private conversations are not used for either marketing purposes or just really being recorded at all. So I do appreciate the author's thoughtful approach on that, and look forward to voting aye on this.
Mr. Gatto, you may close.
Thank you. We certainly have my commitment, and I think the commitment of this bipartisan group of members of this committee, it's a committee bill, to work with these fine gentlemen to make sure that this bill is narrowly tailored to do exactly what it wants. Bottom line here, and my staff would kill me if I didn't say it, is I'm known for my quirky music or movie tastes, and when I'm saying what a good movie Mean Girls is, I don't want to be bombarded with ads for Stick It. So I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Having the close, please call the roll.
The motion is due pass to Judiciary. Gatto.
Aye.
Gatto, aye. Wilk.
Aye.
Wilk, aye. Baker. Baker, aye. Calderon. Calderon, aye. Chang. Chang, aye. Chow. Chow, aye. Cooper. Dababneh.
Aye.
Dababneh, aye. Dali. Dali, aye. Gordon. Gordon, aye. Lowe. Lowe, aye.
And Mr. Chair, we'll keep it open for other members. Congratulations.
Yeah, that was Aaron. Okay, we're going to hold the roll open for a couple more.